What is going on, everybody? Been a diehard Pistons fan since '03 and eager to see this team getting back to playing winning basketball. In today's video, we will be doing a season preview for Pistons guard Marcus Sasser. On this channel, we have and will continue to do season previews for every player on the Pistons roster. We started with the youngest player and we're working our way up to the oldest. Today, we are landing on Marcus Sasser. In this video, we will talk briefly about his previous year, go over 3 strengths to expect from him this upcoming year, 1 weakness, a swing skill, and then predict where he will be at in the rotation. So, of course, last year, then Pistons GM Troy Weaver traded up to get Marcus Sasser in the draft in the back half of the first round. In his rookie year, he averaged 8.5 points to go along with 2 rebounds and 3.5 assists. He played 19 minutes per night while shooting 43% from the floor and 38% from 3. Obviously, was a rocky year for the Pistons as a team last year, but I'd say Marcus Sasser had more or less a solid rookie year. 3 strengths to expect from Marcus Sasser this upcoming year. The first one, highlighted in bold, is going to be his shot creation. His ability to create his own shot, whether it's off the dribble or just screens, whatever it might be, is pretty solid. He can use his step back to get 3-pointers by himself, off the dribble, off the bounce. He can get to his own shot. He's able to get into the lane, shoot floaters. He's able to do quite a few different things from a shot creation perspective with the ball in his hands. He can beat guys one-on-one off the bounce and get to that mid-range step back too. He's really got a pretty deep bag of offensive moves that allow him to be able to get his own shot at will without the assistance of his teammates. So the second strength to definitely expect from Marcus Sasser is going to be his overall shooting. Last year, Marcus Sasser shot 38% from 3 while taking 3.5 attempts per game. That 3-point percentage actually started to go down towards the back half of the year. At the All-Star break, Marcus Sasser was at 50% from the floor and 40% from 3-point, but it more or less just tanked towards the end of the year. Towards the end of the year, he started to get some more minutes and more opportunities and was more of a focal point of the offense on a night-to-night basis, especially as guys like Cade Cunningham got shut down. He was asked to take on a lot bigger of a role than he probably could have handled towards the back half of the year, and it did not look as good as it did look at the start of the year, but more or less, the shooting was definitely solid. His ability to shoot the ball off the catch is really good as a floor spacer. If he's just pegged at the hash mark or whatever it might be, he can definitely catch a kick out and knock down the shot at a high clip. But as I mentioned, he can create his own shot as well. He can take step back threes. Just this ability to shoot the ball is relatively high. And that is also reflected in his free throw percentage, where he shot 88% from the free throw line last year. Marcus Sasser is definitely one of the better shooters on our team as of right now. So a third strength to expect from Marcus Sasser is going to be his ball control and low turnovers. This will kind of lead into his swing skill as well, but last year Marcus Sasser only averaged 1.3 turnovers per game. Definitely not a super high mark for a rookie guard. There wasn't that many times where Marcus Sasser had turnovers or he was biting off more than he could chew as a playmaker trying to make a questionable pass. If Marcus Sasser has the ball in his hands, he's probably not going to turn it over. He very well could miss a read or miss a shot, but the overall turnover numbers were relatively low, which was a good thing to see, and I think that will continue to be the case going forward. So one weakness for Marcus Sasser to expect is going to be his physical limitations on defense. Coming out of college, he did have a high reputation as a very good on-ball defender, but once we got to the NBA level with Marcus Sasser, it was pretty evident that his size was just really going to limit him from a defensive standpoint in the NBA. Marcus Sasser is officially listed at 6'2", but just watching him on the court, I'm not sure. That might be a measurement in shoes, because on a night-to-night basis, most of the time, he does appear to be the shortest player on the floor when he's playing. He's definitely not like super small, like where to the point where you look at the 6'2" measurement and you're like, no way, this guy's actually 5'10", but he's just an undersized guard, point blank. And that leads to physical limitations on defense. The list of guys that he's able to defend is pretty short because the person that he needs to defend also needs to be short as well. So his number 1 swing skill for me is going to be his playmaking. Now, long story short, Marcus Sasser last year in most situations was playing more of an off-ball role, but did get some reps on ball as well. At 6'2", he does seem to be kind of an undersized shooting guard more than he does a true point guard. But with the way that the roster is constructed, the Pistons definitely need a backup point guard a lot more than they need a backup shooting guard. As of right now, the only true point guard on the team that we really have is Cade Cunningham on paper. And then our shooting guard slot consists of Jaden Ivey, Malik Beasley, Tim Hardaway Jr. So there's just going to be way more minutes available for Marcus Sasser if he's able to become a better playmaker and take on more of a point guard role off of the bench. However, the thing is during the summer league, I think that the Pistons knew that they needed to try Marcus Sasser in that role and see if he'd be able to adapt to it. And the consensus was that it did not work out that successfully for Marcus Sasser playing a table setter point guard role in the summer league. As of right now, Marcus Sasser is at his best when he has the ball in his hands and he's in, I'm Marcus Sasser, I'm going to go get a bucket mode. But the Pistons definitely need a point guard who can come in off the bench while Cade's maybe taking a break and Ivy might need to take a break as well and be able to run the offense and initiate the offense at a higher level. As of right now, when Marcus Sasser is initiating the offense, it's pretty unlikely that the ball is going to move too much. The ball definitely has the possibility to stick in his hands. And overall, I think that Marcus Sasser will have a much clearer path to serious minutes on this team if he's able to improve his playmaking and be able to hone in his point guard skills so that in the situations where Cade and Ivy are both on the bench, he can step in and play that point guard role at a high level. And in order to do that, he's going to need to become a better passer and playmaker. So to predict where Marcus Sasser will be at in the rotation, this is a very tricky one because I think that where he will be at in the rotation is going to be as dependent on his swing skill as anybody else is on this roster. I could see anywhere from Marcus Sasser getting 24, 25 minutes a night, all the way down to being completely outside of the rotation and not really getting any serious minutes in competitive games, more or less being a 12th, 13th man on the roster. My guess, at the end of the year, he finishes maybe somewhere around he was last year, 19 minutes per game, maybe 17 minutes per game. It's really just going to depend on his ability to be able to fill in as a point guard and actually play that role at a higher level. And also, it's going to be kind of a question mark on how much the new coaching staff and president in JB Bickerstaff and Trajan Langdon actually like Marcus Sasser as a player. Troy Weaver, of course, really felt highly about Marcus Sasser to trade up and get him, and now he's gone. So it's really hard to say what the new regime here feels about Marcus Sasser. So this is a tough one to predict on where he will be at in the rotation. Let me know what you guys think of Marcus Sasser this upcoming year. I know the Pistons community has pretty split opinions on him, so let me know how you all feel, and we'll catch up soon.